This lesson is on using an insert statement to insert new rows into a table. Now I've done a select here from the publisher table, and we can see that there's 3 rows of information, 3 publishers, and I want to add a 4th. So to do that, I'm going to copy from here, and I'm going to insert the statement above, the select statement. So I want to put into the publisher table, I say insert into, and I give the table name. Now I'm naming the columns, pub ID, name, address, city, and state. Those are the 5 columns that I want to put information in. Now I want to make this pub ID equal to 4, and I'm going to call it my books. And then I've got a street name called For Anywhere, city of Chicago, the state is Illinois. I have the select statement right after that so I can see if I succeeded with that insert. So let's try this. First it says rows affected 1. That means I put in 1 new row. It shows the statement, says it's okay. And then the result from the select shows that my books got in there successfully. Now, what do you think would happen if I click the submit button again? Bad things. And the reason they're bad things is I have a primary key on the publisher ID. And if I try to put in another book with 4 in the publisher ID, rather if I try to put in another publisher with a publisher 4, I should get an error. Let's try it. Doom, there it is, duplicate entry 4 for the primary. So it's not going to allow that. It's not even going to let it in the database. No, no, no. I could change this to 5 and it would work, even though I'd be duplicating my books and these things, and that would probably be a mistake. We'll learn later that we can create an index on some other columns to help prevent duplicates from getting in there. But so far, I haven't done that. So if I were to run this, it would actually go in. I don't want to have that there twice, so I'm not going to bother running this. Now let me show you something else. So let's give it a new name. We'll call it Your Books. And it can be in 5 anywhere, Chicago, Illinois. I could skip putting anything in the address, city, and state. Why? Because it says that their nulls are allowed. Let's go look at the create statement. Here's the create statement for publisher. Pub ID, name, address. But look, they all say they could be null. Nulls are allowed. So it should let the row in. The only thing that you have to have is the primary key, which in this case is the pub ID. I want to put in Your Books as well. So let me submit this. And it says I have an error in my SQL syntax. Check the manual. Your Books at line 1, Your Books. Oh, what I did here, this is good to actually have this error. So I have an extra comma here because when I took those other columns out, I neglected to take that comma out. So let's leave this in and let's see these errors. It's good to get them and to see how to solve them. Submit. All right. Now I got in Your Books, null, null, null. But according to the create statement, that's okay. We can put that in that way. I don't know where Your Books is. Maybe they're just online. They don't have an address. They're virtual Your Books. There are other ways and some more complexity to the insert statement that you could read about in the MySQL manual online. But this gives you enough information to be able to insert rows into the tables that we're going to need to do for the assignments. So that concludes our lesson on doing an insert into a table of a new row.